There are mornings when you open your eyes and feel as if your inner source of energy has been switched off. Your eyelids rise, but your chest feels empty. Yesterday seems to return unchanged. The same thoughts, the same automatic actions, the same heaviness that falls on you from the first steps. It feels as if someone else has written the script of your life long ago, and you've been given a role without the right to rewrite your lines. You look at yourself in the mirror and see not a living person, but a tired, blurred silhouette. Inside, a familiar whisper, "Here we go again." This inner loop squeezes tighter than any physical exhaustion. It's the depletion of the soul. No spark, no inner light. Night tightens the knot, and morning brings no release. And in moments like this, a question appears. What if everything is already decided? Maybe my path is predetermined, but the truth is deeper and stricter. It's not fate that takes your power. You give it away every morning by launching the same pattern, getting out of bed, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, acting out of inertia. You're essentially signing a contract with the past. Yes, I agree to live one more day, an exact copy of yesterday. But there is another path. One step, one morning ritual. It doesn't require hours of meditation or complex practices. All you need is your word, your breath, your intention, and a few minutes after waking up. This ritual is like a key. It locks the door of the old destiny and opens the passage to a new one. Think about it. If every morning is a gateway, why do you enter it carrying the same burden you carried yesterday? Why drag fear, doubt, and exhaustion into a new day? You can step in lighter, crossing the threshold and leaving the unnecessary behind. Our ancestors knew dawn is a time of power. In monasteries, they said, "Whoever owns the dawn owns the day, and whoever owns the day owns life." Joe Dispenza confirms this in the language of science. Morning is a clean slate for the brain. In the first minutes, you can write a new code. That's where the possibility to rewrite destiny appears. You feel this yourself. Wake up with a clear thought and a simple intention, and the day unfolds differently. Meetings align, people smile, even coincidences begin to work in your favor. This is the signal. Consciousness has changed the script, and reality responded. Today you will receive a ritual that doesn't just raise energy, it changes your trajectory. Because everything begins with the inner word. The word shapes the breath. The breath shapes the state. The state shapes destiny. But before we move on, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, how many years have I been giving my mornings to the past? How long have I been waking up and immediately falling into the trap of old thoughts? If the answer is too long, then it's time to put a period. Today you will hear the key, and if you choose to take it, everything will begin to change. But only if you choose action. Right now, subscribe to the channel so you don't lose this path. And write in the comments, "I choose a new morning." Let this be the first step and the seal of this day. When Dispenza speaks about the power of the morning state, he brings us back to a simple truth. Thoughts and emotions form the field around us. Thought is an electrical impulse. Emotion is a magnetic one. Together, they create an energetic signature that attracts events, people, and circumstances aligned with what you radiate. Science confirms this. Neuroplasticity shows what we repeat becomes a stable neural pathway. If every morning begins with anxiety or memories of the past, the brain builds a fast highway for it. One glance at your phone or one thought about a problem, and the system activates. The body returns to its old chemistry. Emotions repeat, and destiny is written with the same ink. But if you change the morning ritual and place a new code into the first minutes, the body's chemistry shifts, breath stabilizes, the heart enters coherence, the brain forms new connections, and the field changes. This is not a metaphor, but physics. Imagine your heart as a tuning fork setting the tone. If you start the morning with a frequency of fear, the whole day sounds anxious. If you choose gratitude, clarity, and strength, that melody carries you until evening. This is where new life script is born. Tibetan monks knew this long before modern science. They said, at dawn, 3 guardians come to you: word, breath, and intention. If you meet them consciously, they let you enter the day with light. If you slip past them, the day becomes heavy and foreign. What does the ritual we're discussing do? It unites these 3 keys: word, intention; breath, energy; image, direction. When they come together, you stop being a passenger and become the driver. Joe Dispenza explains, every morning we either reproduce the personality of the past or create the personality of the future. Everything depends on which script we launch. If every day begins the same way, life will repeat itself. But if you change just a few minutes of the morning, your entire destiny gradually shifts off the old trajectory and onto a new path. Morning is not just a part of the day. It is a portal, a gateway between the old and the new. And whatever you let through this gateway becomes your day. Today you will receive a step-by-step practice that helps you walk through this portal consciously. But it's important to understand, this is not magic. It is the work of the mind and the body. It is discipline that gradually becomes strength. It is a choice that changes your signature in the universe. That is why one ritual can rewrite destiny, because destiny is not created somewhere outside. It is born inside you every morning. Imagine a person who wakes up and immediately reaches for their phone. They open their eyes and instantly see notifications, news, other people's lives. A thin thread of anxiety appears in the chest, as if something has already gone wrong. The breath becomes shallow, thoughts begin to scatter, and the entire day unfolds as a continuation of that first moment. This is life on autopilot, when a morning belongs to the past and the external world, not to you. And then destiny repeats the same script again. Look at 3 typical scenarios. The first, health. Morning begins with rushing, coffee, and scrolling through problems. The body receives a signal of danger. Stress hormones flood the system. By noon comes fatigue. By evening, irritation. The day ends with emptiness and the feeling that you didn't have enough strength. The second, money and work. A person wakes up with thoughts of lack, debts, bills, obligations. This focus creates a field of scarcity. Even good opportunities pass by because attention is tuned to not enough. The financial flow feels punctured. Everything that comes in immediately leaks out. The third, relationships. A person wakes up and mentally returns to yesterday's conflict. They replay it, reviving resentment. Throughout the day, they react as if the argument is still happening. The partner feels it, and the conflict repeats. This is the price of refusing to choose. When every morning you hand control to the past, it takes your energy and writes your story. If nothing changes, it becomes a system. Date blends into day, month into month, and a person doesn't notice how they live a life that isn't truly theirs. Joe Dispenza says, what you think and feel in the morning becomes what you live in the evening. Energy colors the field, and the field returns the reflection. And here is the paradox. It seems like coincidence, fatigue because of work, conflicts because of people, lack of money because of circumstances. But the truth lies in the pattern. It is the direct result of the morning script. If you recognize yourself in at least two of these scenarios, you're not alone. Most people live this way, but it is the majority that stays in the loop. And the minority, those who choose to change their morning ritual, step out of it and begin writing a new destiny. Because destiny is not a dramatic word. It is a sequence of states, thoughts, and choices that accumulate into events. She woke up every morning feeling as if her body didn't belong to her, as if someone else lived inside, pressing the buttons of anxiety, fatigue, and apathy. Her eyes opened without light. Every movement required effort. Even a short walk felt like a marathon. Her name was Anna. Doctors found no serious cause: stress, exhaustion, lack of sleep. But Anna knew it was deeper. She was losing energy in the shadows, starting each day in the negative. Everything changed when she first heard about the power of a morning ritual. Try it, her mentor said. Just 7 sunrises. But do it honestly for yourself. On the first day, the words came with difficulty. Her heart raced, her breath faltered, but she still said, "I choose strength." And a small spark lit up in her chest. It wasn't much, but enough for Anna to feel, for the first time in a long while, that the day could be different. On the 3rd day, her breath became steadier. On the 5th, the heavy dreams disappeared. On the 7th, she woke up with lightness, as if her body had returned to her, a home again, not a prison. The energy didn't come from outside. It had always been there. Anna simply stopped giving it to the past. She tore up the old contract and began writing a new one. Doctors were surprised, friends too. But Anna knew the change happened inside, the moment she believed her own words. Her story is proof. Morning can return the body to its owner. Not pills, not luck, but a simple ritual of choice. Word, breath, image, and light. Everything else comes later. And if you recognize yourself here, if you feel in the morning that your body is not quite yours, this is a sign. Your energy is waiting for only one thing: for you to take it back. Alexey was used to living with the feeling that everything good passed him by. He had a job, but money never stayed. As soon as he received his salary, new expenses, debts, and unexpected bills appeared. Inside lived the feeling: no matter how hard you try, it's still not enough. In relationships, it was the same. He loved, but constantly felt distance and coldness. It seemed his partner was always slipping away, that trust was missing. Arguments flared up out of nowhere and always ended with the same sense of lack. Now emotional. This went on for years until he attended a Dispenza seminar and heard the phrase, "You attract not what you want, but what you are." These words hit him like electricity. He realized all this time he himself had been a magnet for lack. That's why it showed up in both money and love. Alexey decided to try changing his frequency. The ritual was simple: a short affirmation, a few minutes of breathing, and an image of light. But he took it seriously. Every dawn he stood up, closed his eyes, and said, "I am a magnet for abundance and trust." At first it felt strange. A skeptical voice inside whispered, "Nonsense, nothing will change." But he continued. On the 3rd day, something happened. A long-standing debt was unexpectedly resolved. On the 6th day, his partner smiled at him in the morning for the first time in months. On the seventh day, he received an offer for a side job that later grew into a new business direction. Alexey understood. The world hadn't suddenly become generous. He had stopped radiating lack. His inner magnet had been recalibrated. He stopped saying, "not enough," and began saying enough. And reality responded. His experience became proof. The morning ritual is not empty words. It is a tool for tuning the field. When you speak words of choice and breathe into a new state, the world begins to align with you. And if you feel that money slips through your fingers, relationships feel fragile, and trust is missing, this is not a sentence. It is simply a signal that your inner magnet is misaligned, but can be recalibrated. Morning is the key, and now it's time to reveal the ritual itself. It is simple, but its simplicity is where its power lies. It consists of 5 steps. Each step is not a mechanical action, but a key that opens the gateway to a new timeline. Step 1, the seed. Begin each morning with a short formula. Not a long prayer, not a list of desires. One affirmation you are ready to plant in your day. For example, I choose strength. I radiate calm. I live in trust. The words must be simple and sincere. Say them quietly, with your eyes closed, as if placing a seed into the soil. Step 2, the film. Close your eyes and stop the old reel. Take 6 to 8 deep breaths, lengthening the exhale. Feel yesterday's thoughts slow down, as if the projector turns off and the screen becomes blank. This is the reset moment. Without it, the seed won't sprout. The old film will overwrite the new one. Step 3, the road. Write down 3 priorities for the day. Only 3. Not a long to-do list, not a race to do everything. 3 routes you will walk today. Everything else can wait. When you limit yourself to 3 tasks, you close the leaks of attention. Energy moves along the road instead of spilling everywhere. Step 4, the magnet. Focus on one of these routes for 25 to 45 minutes. Full presence. Phone away, thoughts gathered. Imagine you are a magnet, and every thought, every action strengthens the pull of the result. If attention drifts, return to the breath. One inhale, and you're back in the center. Step 5, the light. At the end of the ritual, close your eyes for 45 seconds. Imagine a dome of light around you. Amber, golden, or silver, whatever feels right. Say a short phrase. I keep what is mine, I release what is not. Or, I am in the light, and the light is in me. This image seals your energy and protects it from leaks throughout the day. Altogether, it takes 5 to 7 minutes. But the power of these minutes is immeasurable. This is your new contract with destiny. It closes the door to the old script and opens a new one. The most important thing, this ritual is available to everyone. You don't need special tools or hours of practice. You need only your word, your breath, your at. Words are not just sound, they carry frequency. But for that frequency to become real, you must speak them correctly. Not loudly, not with tension, but so that the vibration resonates in the body. When you say, I choose strength, I live in trust, I am light. Say it slowly. Feel every letter. Let the word imprint itself inside. This should not be mechanical repetition. A few sincere repetitions are enough, but they must land deeply. Your voice should be soft and steady, as if you are telling yourself a truth you fully believe. Imagine these words as a seal you place on your day. If spoken superficially, the seal will be washed away by the first gust of wind. But if spoken sincerely, with breath and attention, it becomes strong. Remember, the word creates the breath. When you speak on the exhale, the breath lengthens and calms. The rhythm changes. The heart picks it up, and the body enters a state of calm strength. In that moment, the field rewrites itself. It is important to connect the word with the image. With your eyes closed, imagine how with each word the dome of light around you becomes denser. See it as real. Feel it touching your skin. Feel the warmth rising in your chest. The union of word, breath, and image is what turns a phrase into a seal of reality. In that moment, you stop being a victim of morning chaos and become the creator of your day. The test is simple. If after the ritual your chest feels warm, your breath steady, and your gaze clear, the seal is set. It's a sign that your word has been heard not only by you, but by the field around you. Don't rush through the words. One deep, sincere repetition is better than 10 empty ones. And remind yourself each time, this is not a request to the world. It is a choice. You are not asking, you are declaring. There is a thin line between a person living on autopilot and a conscious creator. The victim opens their eyes and immediately steps into the old script. The creator opens their eyes and places a seal on the day. The victim reacts to the external. The phone rings, the mood collapses. Someone frowns, energy drops. A small thing, and the whole day is ruined. The victim is like a leaky bucket. No matter how much you pour in, everything drains out. The creator acts differently. They begin the morning with a choice. They speak words of strength and imprint them into the heart. They activate the breath, and the breath rewrites the field. Then circumstances no longer dictate their state. Their state begins to choose the circumstances. This is the turning point. The victim depends on the external. The creator makes the external depend on the internal. This is where destiny is rewritten. Joe Dispenza reminds us, without a new ritual, old neural pathways only deepen. Today you think yesterday's thoughts. Tomorrow they become habit. In a month, character. In a year, destiny. If nothing changes in the morning, the loop closes and escaping it becomes harder. But if you take one step, the morning ritual, you begin to break old pathways and build new ones. At first they're narrow, like trails, but repetition widens them. And one day, they become your main road. Think about how many years you've lived on autopilot, how many opportunities you've missed, how many words you didn't say, how many roads you never walked. If everything stays the same, tomorrow becomes a copy of yesterday. But if tomorrow morning you make a different choice, a new timeline begins. This is not a metaphor, it is reality. The brain, the body, and the field always respond to what you invest. Invest chaos, receive chaos. Invest strength, receive strength. This is the law of the mirror, and it has no exceptions. Here is the key. If you don't start today, tomorrow you will wake up in the same old cage. And it will continue until you decide that enough is enough. Now you know, destiny doesn't fall from the sky. It is born every morning the moment you open your eyes. One word, one breath, one intention can rewrite the script of the day, and therefore of your life. The 3 stories you heard are not exceptions, they are patterns. Anna reclaimed her body. Alexey recalibrated his magnet of abundance and trust, and each did it through one key, the morning ritual, the word as the seed, the breath as the stopping of the old film. 3 roads instead of chaos, attention as the magnet, and the dome of light protecting from leaks. Let this be your formula. Seed, film, road, magnet, light. 5 steps, 7 minutes. A destiny rewritten from zero. Don't think it's too little. Great changes always begin with small things. One decision creates a new state. A state shapes thoughts. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions create events. That is the chain of transformation. But there is another truth. Time does not wait. Every day on autopilot strengthens the old script. If tomorrow you wake up in the same loop, the cage becomes stronger. But if tomorrow morning you speak your words, take a breath and imagine the light, you will place a seal on the new day, and it will change everything. So the challenge is simple. Try it. 7 mornings in a row, 7 days, and you will see the first signs. Sleep becomes clearer, lightness appears inside, events begin to align differently, and you feel destiny hears you. You're not waiting for a miracle. You become the miracle. And my final invitation, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a like so this video reaches those still living in the cage of an old script. And write in the comments, I place a seal on the morning. Let this become our code and share practice. Let everyone who sees these words feel they're not alone. Today, destiny begins a new countdown, and the pen that will write it is in your hands.